It's Texas football talk
from those who wore the burnt orange.
Welcome to Longhorn Lowdown. Now here's Todd Hunt, Stevie Lee, and Stu Myrick.
Welcome to another edition of Longhorn Lowdown. Stu Myrick here with Todd Hunt and Stevie Lee. Hello, fellas.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
And joining us in the virtual lounge this week, the pride of Plano East High School, first team All-State, and first team USA Today All-American as a senior. Also All-State in shot put and discus throw.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Played at Texas from 2002 to 2006. So, yes, he is a national champion. Two-time All-American, including senior season, unanimous first team. Three-time All-Big 12, first ever Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year in 2006.
Wow.
Set the UT record for consecutive starts at 51, which I think still stands today.
Wow.
And then played 8 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons, drafted second round. It is our good friend, the man that is smarter than all of us combined.
Combined.
Justin Blalock. What's up, man?
How's it going? Thank you. Wonderful intro.
That was one of the very first things when I remember when you were still at Texas. One of the first things I noticed about you, you had this intelligent aura about you. It wasn't just the glasses. It was just you had this swagger about you that you knew you just had things going in your head, and it was far beyond what any of us mere mortals could ever have. So I just remember that.
You know, my first memory of Justin Blalock was on the practice field, right? And you know what Coach Rawls say about having it. You know, you have it, and if you don't know what it is, then you ain't got it. Right? I knew that Justin had it. I had been at the University of Texas when he got there. I was already there for 2 years, so I'm supposed to be 2 years stronger than him. But little did I know that this kid from high school was strong as hell. This guy put his hands on me. It was I don't even think he ran scout team. It was some other drill that we were doing together with the D-line and the O-line. And I was like, this young one, he is strong. You know how you get that breastplate as an offensive lineman, you got to grab that breastplate? This true freshman comes up and grabs my breastplate. And I just had to drop my head, man.
He grabs the breastises and goes, yeah!
I said, this kid's going to be something. He's going to be somebody one day.
Hey, you know what? I had that same feeling. Same thing happened to me. I was a senior, junior. Dan Neal did the same crap to me. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I was pissed off.
Hey, man, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
And
All you offensive linemen. It's like that.
Yeah. Todd, you knew, and I knew.
Yeah.
That kid's going to be good. And both of those guys we just mentioned had long careers in the NFL.
And Dan had two Super Bowl championships with the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen the rings. Yeah.
We don't get Dan on here too. Talk to Dan.
We'll get
we got Justin now, so let's worry about that.
I said, hey, Justin, hey, I see you got some drum sets back there. Are you like you got jam session or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I got all type of stuff. I got
bass guitar.
Yeah, got one. I got a couple. Got some turntables here, keyboards.
Are you a DJ?
I just bought those on a whim.
Justin is jack of all trades, I think Justin had a place in Austin at the Austonian. And
oh, I know. I remember being up in his house. I was in the building. I wasn't at his place, but the building.
I was lucky enough to be able to sell that for him. But
nice.
Everyone that I sold it for, that I showed it to, asked about he had a nice set of guitars hanging on the wall, like artwork, man. Like they were really nice guitars, and his turntable and everything was under it. And everybody that walked in the house was like, "Oh, is the owner a musician?" And I'm like, he dabbles. And then they go see all the other pictures on the wall and then see the orange couch and it's like, oh, he played football. That's what it was.
Exactly. Now, are any of those guitars autographed, Justin?
No.
Okay.
I would feel guilty playing them if they were.
Do you have any autographed guitars or other musical memorabilia?
I have some sheet music that is autographed by the Atlanta Symphony. So when I was playing, I did some work with them because I really like music. And like I said earlier, I played through my junior year in high school. They had a program where they, in the summertime, taught or sat beside kids in the area. So if you're an aspiring clarinet player, you can sit next to the first clarinet in the Atlanta Symphony for a week in the summer, and they put on a concert. So they were gracious enough to let me sit in and play in said concert one year, and then conduct it the following year. So after the performance, each time they gave me some signed sheet music from the pieces we played.
That's cool.
That is nice.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Pretty
It
sweet.
is.
I didn't ruin the performance, so all's well that ends well.
Was there ever any temptation to play in the band when you were in high school?
Nah, that wasn't gonna happen. I mean, this is Texas high school football, man.
It's true. But it's happened. Others have done it. It's usually smaller schools, though. Plano East, one of the big boys up there in the DFW area. But you'll see it in some of those smaller schools where
I agree.
the football player running out there and doing the halftime show in his football gear.
Yeah, but we were the biggest high school in Texas at the time. For some reason, I was needed in that locker room.
That's true.
What was your graduating class?
1280.
Oh my goodness.
So I went to Richardson. So even back, I'd say, a decade, a little bit less than a decade before you were in Plano East. It's been big that many years. I mean, Plano's a powerhouse in the late 80s and late 80s. They kicked everybody's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Right, exactly. And now it's Allen.
Yes,
now it's Allen.
Eagles.
Well, because we divided this, the talent up again.
That's right.
Yeah, so you had 1,200 in your graduating class.
Mm-hmm.
I had 112.
So yeah. See, Stevie and I are about the same. I had like 120 at Gladewater.
I had about 700 and something in my class.
We had 112, but we would have whooped everybody's ass in Texas. Trust me.
Well, I mean, when you recruit kids and, you got –
Here we go.
20-year-old kids.
Here we go, recruiting. Here it goes.
You got gray hair. Your senior year in high school.
No. For the record,
I went to one class today, and then had practice for 5 hours.
Academy did not recruit. For the record.
Say that again. Say that again, Stevie.
For the record, Evangel Christian Academy did not recruit. We all
What word did they call it?
Huh?
What word did they use for it? For what they did?
We didn't.
We
did wrong. Our strength and conditioning program was called Bigger, Faster, Stronger, and that's what made us good. Oh, and then we had. We had this one program called 8+. So if you go through middle school, and if your parents feel like that you're not big enough or strong enough to play in high school yet, and you're young, you go to 8+. So you don't go to 9th grade. You go to, after you finish 8th grade, you go to 8th grade plus, and take some high school classes in the middle. You're in purgatory. You're not in high school, but you're not in middle school. You're in 8+.
What?
And so that's why a lot of our players were a little bit on the bigger side and older side.
Uh-huh.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it, but that was kind of a loophole that Evangel Christian Academy did.
Okay.
Okay.
And now the secret's kind of come out. So
if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
And that's what I'm saying, man. I tell my kids it all the time. Bad
true.
parenting, but I tell them that,
Hey, well, it's
I mean,
only cheating if you get caught.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Justin?
So build a better mousetrap if people don't like it.
Yeah, build a better mousetrap.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, just like this guy that doesn't pay taxes. Build a better mousetrap.
Hey, Justin, do you have any siblings, man?
No, only child.
So you and I are a match. See, that's why we get along. We're big, linemen, no sister brothers, can do what we want. We're leaders and what we want to do. I get it. See, that's why we connect so well. You know what? Really, why we connected so well? I'm gonna tell you. You don't remember this, maybe you do. So after one of Corey Ratings' events, 2 years ago now, maybe 3, we met over at the cigar shop. Do you remember what you brought to the cigar shop?
Ooh,
a bottle of what?
Was it
Macallan?
No, it had to be Scotch. Okay, yeah, Macallan.
Macallan.
It was like a limited edition Macallan, I believe.
It was, and you killed me, man. I can't pay that kind of money for that bottle, but I love that shit. I'm so stuff. It was awesome, dude. That was some good stuff.
What year was it?
25 or 30, one of the two.
Oh,
yeah, it was older than me at the time, I think.
Yeah, it was like 25 or 30. It was good. It was smooth.
Oh,
and
man.
he only gave us like this much, and I was like, woo! I was like, oh, I was out. But it was great.
It's good stuff.
The cigar was great, yeah. So I kept the rest of that bottle, so because nobody else was like, oh, okay, I took it home and finished the last few sips of it. But it was pretty cool. Oh, man. You got great taste, my brother.
Appreciate it.
So during your senior year, junior year, senior, when did you know, hey, I'm fixing to, I'm gonna hit the next level easily? Was it like recruiting your sophomore year, junior year, when they start hitting you up?
Oh, goodness. I want to say, yeah, sophomore year, I think it was. Because at the time in 9-5A,
right,
or maybe it was just a Plano thing, but we didn't have freshmen playing varsity. So I was just on, 9th grade team, just playing other 9th grades in the city and, not really serious about football at all. And then the next year, I get slotted to go try out for the varsity. And we had a really, really good year that year. I think we ended up making it to the quarterfinals, lost to Garland, the eventual state champ.
Wow.
So in that off season, I was starting to get, a little bit of attention.
Right. Nice. So
hold on 1 second. Let's go back because he said he was not very into football at 9th grade. Tell him what your other sport was before that.
Well, okay. By not really into it, I just mean that 9th grade football is not serious.
Right, right. But
okay, so at the time, I was probably still playing basketball. I was definitely throwing shot.
Yeah.
But there was a time in your life where you were really into hockey, I heard.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I played hockey in grade school. Right when the Stars came down from Minnesota to Dallas, every kid, wanted to play hockey. We don't know the first thing about it, but everyone wanted to play. So I was like, okay, everyone's playing. Let me give this thing a try. It was one of the more fun sports I've ever tried. Once I was any good at it, but it was fun to play.
That's cool, man. Do you still know how to skate?
Wait, say that again?
You still know how to skate?
Oh, goodness. I'm sure I could. Yeah, I could definitely do that. I'm an athlete. I'll figure it.
Hey, man, I need to see it. This winter, I need to see it. I need a video of Justin Blalock on some skates. Go to bigshoes.com. They have skates our size.
Yeah.
I almost bought them. I was real close to buying them. He's right here in Austin on South Lamar. Well, you're not in Austin anymore, but he ships everywhere. Bigshoes.com. He has some skates our size. Get some, and I want to see it.
Okay. I might have to come down to was it Whole Foods where they have the ice?
Whole Foods, they still do it,
That's true.
And it's nice and small rink, so I can't really, ball too hard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be going too fast either.
Yeah,
Well,
man, I want to see that.
And I guess it would have been your freshman year in high school when the Stars won the cup, right?
I think that's yeah.
It was either 8th grade or 9th grade. They won the Stanley Cup.
Hold on.
That's cool.
Which wasn't too far after they had moved from Minneapolis.
Right. I mean, it was. Kind of wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. And Minnesotans were pissed. I remember that. They brought the Stanley Cup to Texas. We had it out there at a football game. I forget which one. And you see that big Stanley Cup, that beautiful trophy. Man, that was something. Was there ever any temptation? Because we mentioned you were all state in both shot put and discus. Was there any temptation to stick with that and maybe, see if you could make it, say, to the Olympics or something?
I think that was kind of in the back of my mind, but I talked to B-Rob, Ryan Robinson, I'm sure, all you know, but maybe some folks at home might not. But, yeah, those guys have to, run and do track kind of stuff at practice. I wasn't gonna do that. Okay.
Yeah, that is kind of one of the liabilities of that little.
If you just let me, do some bench press and maybe some power things occasionally, okay, I'll do that. But I can't run no quarter. Better get a dang hourglass.
Yeah, man.
So which school was the biggest temptation? And we had talked a little bit about this a little bit before we went on the air. Which school was the biggest temptation that would have kept you from coming to Texas?
You
visited or the ones that offered you?
So I only took 2 other visits. I was scheduled for 3, but I liked Texas so much I was like, there's no point. Oklahoma and Michigan. Oklahoma at the time was, of course, killing. And Michigan, I liked the fact that they had a great history with offensive linemen. And I had a cousin that was playing there at the time, Jonathan Goodwin, who went on to play center for the Saints and Jets. So they made a mistake and had me visit up there in December. Which kind of cemented, them out of the picture. So it was just Texas and Oklahoma at the time. And Florida was the school that I was supposed to visit, but didn't end up going to.
All right. What is it about Big 12, Big 10 schools that make you want to visit in the winter? I mean, I know that's football season, but you think they would figure out, hey, maybe if we bring them up here when it's not minus 20, you might get a few more players. I know they don't have too much problem, but gee whiz.
Yeah, I don't know if it just didn't dawn on them, or they just thought, we're so good, well, anyone that comes up here will want to go. Whatever the case may be, it was too cold. Nope, can't do it.
So who was
shoveling snow? No.
Yeah. So who was it that recruited you at Texas? Who was the main guy that was talking to you?
So it was Coach McCrary. Todd will know from Richardson.
McCrary's pretty cool. He's awesome.
Oh yeah. So he was the main one, and then I think Coach Nunez was still the main offensive line coach at the time, and it was transitioning to Coach McQuarter. So I talked to Coach Nunez a little bit, but mainly Coach McCrary.
Okay. All right. And you said you were pretty certain it was going to be Texas. What was it about Texas? Was there something specific, or was it just the fact that it's Texas, tradition, all that good stuff?
That's a big part for sure. At the time, all the top talent in Texas was going to Texas.
Because we were the shit.
Well, yeah, of course. I felt like they were building something really great, and at that time they had a string of big offensive linemen get drafted and paid really, really well. So I was like, oh,
Yeah, I talked to one today. It was Mike Williams and Leonard Davis.
Yep, D-Doc.
D-Doc, yeah.
All you guys were big hosses, man. All you guys were huge. I thought I was a little boy compared to some of you guys. I'm serious. I walked up to Leonard one day, man, and I looked up to him. I was on the sidelines before the game. I looked up to him. I was like, that is a mountain. Yeah. I would hate to go against that guy. Stevie, you went against him?
I did go against him.
He's bad, isn't he?
I was still supposed to be in high school, and he was supposed to be in the NFL.
All that means is you got tore up.
Yeah, absolutely, I did.
Yeah, well, you got that much preface to the story. Nothing good happened.
I come in January. I'm still supposed to be getting ready for my prom, right? He comes back, tells the whole world that he's not going to the NFL. He's coming back for his senior year. And, being the kid that I am, thinking that I'm, coming into practice, like I can do whatever I was doing in high school. And we ran an ed. You know what an ed is, Justin?
Yep.
The end goes first and the tackle goes around. And I just thought that I was going to get to Major Applewhite that day. And Leonard Davis had another story for me. Like
he flipped your ass, man. Boom!
And I was like, I'm in college now, guys.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, man, my girlfriend's waiting on me to take her to prom back at home. So I'm gonna just go and walk. I'm gonna walk back to Shreveport right now with my
Made a mistake.
Yeah,
I'm clearly not supposed to be here.
Yeah, but what jokes aside is that that shows that you knew what you had in you to be able to come in and follow footsteps like that and do it well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's hats off to you to not be afraid of the legacy and that you were going to be picking up, because the pride and winning tradition of the Texas Longhorns would not be entrusted to the weak nor the timid. You know what I mean?
That's true. Damn straight.
Yeah.
I think I've heard that a time or two.
Yeah, we've heard it.
Has a nice ring to it.
It's chiseled in the back of my head. Like,
yeah.
Mad Dog chiseled it in the back of my head back here. And it's in Braille. I can feel it, right?
Exactly. Now, that kind of experience that Stevie just talked about, Justin, did you have something like that, like, say, your freshman year? Because you redshirted your freshman year, correct? So did you have it? Did you have an experience like that was kind of like, okay, I'm in college football now. I'm with the big boys.
Yeah, there were a few. So the one that stands out most, I think, in fall camp of that redshirt freshman year, or the true freshman year when I was redshirting. So I was running scout team, which I was basically blocking dummy for these guys, and I did okay some of the time, but I remember very vividly running a power, and I'm pulling around to lead up on Reed Boyd. So I'm, snot coming out and just rah.
Okay.
About to go blow this guy up, or try my best to. And then Corey Redding and Derek Johnson had another idea that they saw blocker come through the hole, blow up the blocker. So both of them sat me right down the hole, and probably made a TFL right after that, I'm sure. That was kind of like my welcome to college football idiot moment.
Yeah. Yep. So we've all had that.
I was going to say.
Oh, yeah. No one's immune.
Yeah. No
right.
one's immune.
I get you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I get you. What was the biggest lesson you learned that redshirt freshman year?
Oh, my goodness. First thing I'll say, it was probably the greatest year of my life. To be on a college campus with next to no responsibility. I got two and a half practices. That's my whole week. I don't have to worry about playing a stressful game on Saturday, traveling, none of that stuff. Let's face it, I partied my ass off. So I guess
Supposed to.
Yeah. I had a blast doing it too.
Right?
So learning how to go be good at school hungover is a good lesson.
That's an art. That is an art.
I was going to say that might be like number one on every college student has ever attended college in the history of the world.
Yeah.
How to do class hungover.
Absolutely. That's an art. And I think the University of Texas football team has mastered that art.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
All joking aside, I think learning how to watch film and study and try to become a more cerebral player. In high school, I mean, we threw the ball 5 times a game. We were a triple option team. Fire off and either I'm blocking the 3 technique or veering around them and blocking linebacker. It's pretty simple. So learning how to run a sophisticated offense that would prepare me for down the line was really something I needed big time. Because in high school it's just I'm bigger than you, I'm gonna fire off and knock your ass down. That's all there is to it. Yeah. And that did not fly so much in college.
All right.
Occasionally did though.
Once in a while. Who was that player that was kind of like a big brother to you?
Oh my goodness.
When you came on the team?
I think there are a couple guys that I got along with pretty well. So I mentioned Derek Dockery earlier, and then Tillman Holloway. We got on, pretty well. I think we were kind of like the opposite playing style. I was kind of like laid back, and he was super aggressive. I loved watching him play. I think we got along pretty well. Jason Glenn, being from the same district, so I'd watched him play, when I was a young pup. I think that's.
Who did they assign you to be your big brother?
Jay Scott. So we were also had that Dallas connection, but I mean he's just 1 year older than me.
Yeah, that's another one. He had a good career in the NFL as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean we ended in Atlanta together.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. First UT guy I had in 8 years. Or no. When I got there, Marcus Wilkins was there.
Okay.
My very first year. And then after that, not another UT guy until I'm on my way out.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What?
That's good stuff.
It is good stuff. You had a lot of success as an offensive lineman, which doesn't always get all the credit they should, quite frankly. But you were, I mentioned at the top of the show, 3-time All Big 12, 2-time All-American, unanimous All-American. So I got to imagine that somewhere it was pretty early when you started hearing the whispers that you may be good, you may be playing on Sundays. When was that?
I think probably after my sophomore year, I started to think, oh man, this could be a real thing. We had, played Michigan in the Rose Bowl, pretty high profile dramatic game as we like to play. So I think that year was starting to, I don't want to say feel pressure to perform any better or differently or anything like that, but started to realize like, oh man, this, if I play well, this could be a thing. Keep on at this trajectory, if you will. And then the next year obviously was national championship. So kind of iron was really, really hot right then. Probably should have struck it, but
Well, okay, so and that leads into, because there was that string that Mac Brown, you didn't have people coming out early. I mean, Vince was like an absolute surprise. A lot of people felt Vince would come back for the senior season, try to repeat. So what was it that kept you at Texas and not go to the draft?
I was extremely close to graduating at the time, and that was always like a really big thing in my household was education. I knew that I wanted to get it done, or I was likely to never go back and do it. I was having a blast in college. I wanted, another year of preparation, which I thought I was getting a lot of good development, X's and O's wise, body wise, all those things. Like, I'll take this year, do everything the right way, try to get in best shape as possible, all X, Y, Z, and give this thing, my full attention.
Right.
I mean, not to say that I wasn't before that, but now it's, I guess, inevitable, barring injury or something like that.
Okay.
I know hindsight is 2020. Did you get evaluated your junior year? Did they evaluate you? What you would go? What round?
Yeah, I think it was second to third round grade.
And where did you go the next year?
I ended up going to the second round.
Second round?
But at the Senior Bowl, guy from New England was like, oh, man, what happened to your senior year? We had you in the first round after your junior year. It's like, oh, shit.
And I don't know why they go back and tell you guys these things. Like they did that with Roy Williams. When we talked to Roy Williams a few weeks ago, he felt the same way, that he should have come out his junior year. But, hindsight is 2020, and, if the past is the past, you're here right now. I don't know why these guys come back and tell you all that.
It's like, well, you can still take me there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to, yeah. As I recall, you were producing at a pretty good level your senior year.
Yeah.
I think we went 10-3, played in the Alamo Bowl.
Right.
Played a close game with Iowa, who we, should have blown the doors off of, but
right.
You know how bowl games go sometimes.
Well,
yeah, I mean, like, you could still draft me in the first round. I'm not going to stop you,
Yeah.
That guy's still in there. If you think I was so poor this last year.
Yeah. Still got it in you.
Right. I mean, we can talk about, what you didn't like.
Yeah.
You just talked about that Alamo Bowl victory against Iowa. You mentioned you should have blown the doors off of them, but it was close. Was that because of the disappointment? You lost to Kansas State. Jevin Sneed had to come in for Colt that last drive because Colt got hurt. Was there a bit of a disappointment and maybe a little bit of a letdown going into that Alamo Bowl?
I think it's human nature, and clearly the score showed it. Even if you're not consciously taking someone lightly. I mean, practices were good, all those things were happening, but it's only natural, especially after the the previous season when we're so high. But I mean, in hindsight, yeah, probably. I mean, no one ever wants to say that, but
Right.
I mean, crap, you're playing, a middle of the pack Big Ten school. Thank God I never played with anybody from Iowa. But these, they're not just oozing with NFL talent,
Right.
Except on the offensive line, which is kind of their thing.
Yeah. I get that.
Huh.
I get that. Let's go back the year prior, the national championship, going to the Rose Bowl. Take the game out of it because that was by itself just incredible. What was one or two of your favorite memories of that trip to Pasadena to the Rose Bowl? You guys go to Disney World. You have all the fun and festivities. What was one or two memories that stick with you besides the game itself?
Yeah, I think some of those pregame activities, like in the week leading up to it, those are pretty interesting. Getting to be around the SC guys. But man, at the time they were, damn near larger than life as far as college football went. So kind of seeing how they were operating and the way they thought of themselves. It was kind of cool to be around. Especially from our attitude is kind of like us against the world, all that kind of stuff. No one's given us a chance of hell to be here. So I guess kind of let that resentment fester for a whole week and unleash whatever night it was. Like, I'm assuming it's a Saturday night or Monday night, maybe.
Yeah,
it was a Monday night because I was festering on Sunday and Monday before the game of my Crown Royal and Sandy Williams, Ricky's mom, and we were just getting toe up. It was awesome.
Oh man,
I was there with you, man.
Yeah. I was at Schultz Garden with Jerry Sizemore doing the pregame stuff. It was like I had just gotten into radio a little bit, and I was helping a little bit, and that was, oh my God, what a night.
Dude, I was cloud nine.
Yeah, I was in my apartment, just happy for you guys because, I was on that team the year before at the Rose Bowl. And, I knew what all the festivities that you guys have gone through. And Philip came to my apartment that night. I had an apartment over in Barton Creek. And we watched the game. And, from my standpoint, those were still my brothers on the field. You know what I mean? Like Blalock locked me up 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
And Vince Young ran our scout team when he first got to campus and made us all look bad and get cursed out by Bull Reese every single day. So those guys were still my brothers on the field, and I felt part of it, right? And I had an opportunity to go to the game. And my wife, she kicks me every day now that we didn't go. I was broke and I was just out of college trying to build a career. And so I didn't want to spend all my money just to get to California and go to this game where I can watch it at my house. But hindsight, I wish I would have every penny to go up there, But what I do remember from that game is if there was one play, and that's the play with Vince Young running to the right, that end zone back there to the right, pylon. And if anybody, everyone that's listening needs to go back to that play. And there's one person that broke that play open, and it was Justin, right? There was a man coming out on the outside, and Justin just gave him one. I know these hands. He put his hand up. And pushed him to the inside, and Vince he could walk right into the end zone. And that's what won a national. Vince Young did not win the national championship. It was Justin Blalock's blocking.
Hey, listen, he got to get there somehow. You got to get there somehow.
It's always like that.
What's up,
And then
Princess?
there's Summer,
Queen.
by the way. Hello,
My
Summer.
wife wanted to say hi to Justin. Justin, you're one of her favorite.
Hi, Justin.
Hey,
I love you guys too, Todd.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Summer.
Hi, Justin. How are you?
hi, how you doing? Oh, I'm so
You
good.
wanted me to, we can go back to, I know we passed the college era stuff, but she wanted me to talk about the day she and I were in the dining hall.
Right. Well, we walked, we all finished practice and walked up the hill together and grabbed something to eat. And my favorite Justin moment, we're in the dining hall. Justin got a Philly cheesesteak and was talking to it. And it was like, I know we're going to be lifelong friends. I know.
He picked up his Philly cheesesteak and had a conversation with it.
And I was like, yep.
All right, Justin.
All right, good to see you guys.
You got to smarten us up. What kind of a conversation do you have with a Philly cheesesteak? Because I have had many Philly cheesesteak sandwiches in my life. I'm not sure I've ever had a conversation with one.
Knowing me, I was probably apologizing for what was about to happen to it.
Oh my goodness.
I know you haven't been here long. It's almost over.
You look so pretty. It's a shame you have to be destroyed.
Hey man, I'll tell you one thing, man. We had a lot of fun on the 40 acres, guys.
Oh my
We really
God.
did. Yeah.
That is so funny. It was so good though.
Sorry, my wife had to come in and say that, man. I'm sorry.
Hey, Summer can be a third co-host. That's fine.
Absolutely.
You know, pretty us up a little bit. I take that any day. All right, so you finish college, you graduate in December, by the way. You finish it out, go in the draft, you're picked second round by the Falcons. The Falcons that were coached at that time by Bobby Petrino.
Oh, don't remind me.
I was just about to ask you, what was that experience like? And then that first season when Petrino kind of left you guys high and dry, when he figured out maybe he was in over his head, maybe, or you just talk about it.
I had just about suppressed that whole year.
I'm sorry, Justin.
Why are you bringing up bad stuff, Drew?
I'm sorry.
Don't bring hell back to the kitchen. Come on.
So of course, I was excited to get drafted and all these great things, goals accomplished, all the hard work, blah blah blah. I mean, it was great. Don't get me wrong. And I get up there, and this is right when Michael Vick was being indicted, I think, or maybe that broke like just a few weeks into like OTAs. So I mean, unfortunately, he wasn't around very long. But I gotta say this too. Great guy. Actually sat by me at lunch one day. I'm fucking nobody. Sorry, I'm nobody. And he's on the cover of Madden and the greatest thing in the world at the time, and chatting me up over whatever the heck we had to eat. Probably some kind of carb conscious meal for me. But yeah, that year was, so if my first year in college was the greatest of my life, the first year in the NFL is probably the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, there were many nights I'd get home and just think, I'm not going to make it. If this is what the NFL's like, I'm trying to remember. I think we were 3-13 on the year or something along those lines. It was bad. Just terrible. And then he didn't make things any better. Yeah. So I'm just thinking like, man, this is what it's like. I don't know how all these guys before me did this. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. And then, overnight, after he took off for Arkansas, I think it was, come in and have Emmett Thomas was the interim head coach for the remainder of the season, and just seeing how. I mean, I've been around good coaches before and successful teams, but just seeing how things could be, I was like, holy crap, okay, maybe it's not so bad. And then Mike Smith comes in the next year, and then I think we instantly go 11-5 or 10-6 maybe, because we drafted that year, and I think brought Mike T over from the Chargers, and I mean, it started pretty quickly being a damn good team.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and Mike Smith, at one time, he was among that top tier of coaches in the NFL when he was there with the Falcons, and the rebuilding because of what happened with Petrino, which I guess again, hindsight being 2020, when he leaves to go to Arkansas, and then all the stuff he goes through in Arkansas with the motorcycle and it seemed like you guys dodged the bullet a little bit. You survived that first season, and you were able to do well.
Yeah, my mom told me if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. So
I get you.
I'm gonna leave it there.
There you go.
I mentioned you set the UT record. You have the school record, most consecutive starts, 51. And then you go to Atlanta 8 seasons and you play 125 games. That's pretty good for, taking 8 seasons, 16 game seasons, the wear and tear. What do you attribute your durability to?
I wish I could say I was like this master strength and conditioning guy. Never ate a burger. Didn't drink beers. Never had a cheat. Definitely did all those things. To the utmost. My grandpa always told me, generally you get hurt when you're not playing hard. You see guys, and especially in the line, you get rolled up or something like that. It's usually because you're standing around, feet planted. So I really tried to take that to heart and always be active. Some is just dumb luck.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks praying for me.
Yeah.
I really can't, put too much of a finger on anything else. I did wear knee braces. It was unpopular. So that probably helped some. But we had a really good group of guys. I wanted to be out there with them all the time. I think at one span we might have had the same starting lineup for 3 consecutive years, just on the offensive line I'm talking about right now, which is unheard of continuity these days, especially. And I think one year we might have played every snap together, like that whole season. Wow. I might be wrong on that one. That seems kind of incredible. But a lot of guys, you can't really play 3 quarters like at Texas. First of all, there's not that many blowouts, and then you only have 7 or 8 linemen dressed for each game. So, I really took pride in being out there every snap as long as I was able. Now maybe some of them I shouldn't have been, and ultimately, had the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, towards the end. But I really enjoyed being out there, and it's pretty damn good at it.
So who was one of the biggest and baddest defensive linemen you went against that you hope to never go against again?
Oh my goodness!
Or you just that good? You're like, I'd go against any of them.
No, I am not that good. Not that good. Let me see. So, Chris Jenkins was playing for the Panthers at the time. He was still, I think, in his prime when I got to the league. Albert Hansworth, contract year, Albert Hansworth.
Yeah.
Big difference. Big difference.
Good qualifier there.
Yeah.
Yes. So my rookie year was when he was playing for that huge bag of money that he got in Washington. Justin Smith. I generally say that he was my least favorite person to go against. There were times when I felt like he wasn't even rushing the quarterback. He just wanted to run me over. Quarterback's over there. What are you doing, man? Yeah. There's no use in what you're doing. There's no stat for this.
He just had a special connection with you. Is that what you're saying?
I'm gonna tattoo your ass.
But I really respected him more than most because I feel like he played maybe 85% of their snaps. Kind of that hybrid position where he'd play in base package, and then in sub he'd come inside. Oh my gosh, and play 3 technique and get rush on the guards in the passing situations. But most defensive linemen are playing 40, 50, 60% of the snaps. So a guy that played that hard, that often, something like that really had my respect. Not that he gives a shit.
Not when he's trying to put you on your back. That's funny.
Yeah. I was like, man, every time we played the Niners, I was like, damn, all right, man, I got to do some extra squats this week or something.
Okay. So when did you realize, hey, I need to just, bow out of this little game?
My last year, I ruptured a disc in my back. I didn't know as soon as it happened, but it didn't take long after that. So this play that happens, non-contact thing. It's like a wide receiver tunnel screen. Fake the guy on the block and then take off. As soon as I took off, it's like, it's not right. So I got to the end of the play. Luckily, it's like a double screen, and it goes the other way. But I kind of gingerly walked back to the huddle, and I just took a knee. I was like, no, guys, something is wrong here. I don't know what it is. Something ain't right. And everyone's just freaking out because, like we talked about earlier, I always play. It's like, oh, nothing's ever wrong with this guy. So I knew at that time, I was like, this ain't right. Luckily, we had a bye the next week. Is that right? No, actually, I sat out a game. Because we played the Giants the next week, I think. And then I just was in the training room around the clock that whole week, and I think the start of the next week, getting epidurals, all type of treatment. You name it. Why I did it on a 6-10 team, I don't know. But at the time, I was like, we're gotta get out there and make the difference.
You wanted that one more.
Yeah.
All right. So I mentioned this to you before we started. So one of your Falcon teammates that I interviewed for my wrestling show, Quinn Ojanaka, played O-line with you in Atlanta, now known as Moose from Impact Wrestling, told me to ask you for a story about having to drink a gallon of milk before you had to go to bed one night.
Oh, my God.
Apparently this is the safest of the stories. So I shudder to think what the other stories were, but
This might get me in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. Try to give me the safe version.
No, I want the R version.
Okay.
Rated R version.
All right, so how can I best?
Just rip it off, baby. Just rip it off. Rip the Band-Aid off. Just go.
So occasionally, I like to have guys over during the basketball season to watch games, especially during the playoffs. We get like pizzas or something, watch a game, everyone hang out, maybe talk a little bit of shop. So one, we must not have been doing very well because someone offered to bring some special baked goods. Let's say that.
Okay.
Use your imagination. This isn't really like my cup of tea, but I was like, oh okay, whatever. I will not say who was there, who was not there. Anyhow,
two people that were there.
Yeah.
well,
I know.
Yeah. Two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were these baked goods of a brownie variation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
They were brownies. And so we're watching games, eating, having a good old time. I have a sweet tooth. So someone says, hey, don't go overboard with these things. Just be smart. I'm a big guy. I like sweets. This ain't gonna do nothing to me. So 30 minutes later, we're all sitting. I had a deck off my kitchen. I had a fire pit out there. We're all sitting around, just hanging out, talking crap. I get up to get like a soda or something, and I just realized if I try to stand up, I was gonna fall down. So I was like, all right, guys, party's over. It's time to go home. Like everyone knows, you ain't got to go home. Just get up out of here. So I went and my room's upstairs, and there was no way I was going to make it. Luckily, I had a guest room downstairs. Go just face plant in the guest room. I don't know who left when. No one could lock the door. Didn't care about none of that. I wake up in the middle of the night and just have the worst cotton mouth you have ever seen. Or I guess fellas, you don't really see that kind of thing. And so I go to the fridge. Lo and behold, fresh, cold, beads of water from the condensation just coming down the side of the glass, bottle of milk. And I know I've seen people do like a challenge where you can't drink a gallon of milk in an hour. I drank that damn thing in about 5 minutes.
Wow.
I was so thirsty and still had like the brownie taste in my mouth. So I wanted, milk and not water. So, they didn't see it, but I told enough people about it clearly. Where he thought that was a great story. So now that, I'm not employed, I guess I can tell that with no repercussions.
Yeah.
It's been a few years too, so.
It's been a few years, and half the country is legal anyway.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. And it's probably like a Tuesday night or something, or Monday night or something.
Yeah.
So no practice the next day.
Yeah.
All right.
I take this thing seriously.
He's getting ready. He's getting ready to wrestle. He's getting ready to roll around with another guy in an undisclosed location somewhere. So You're good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
He's wrestling dudes in underwear.
That's right. Exactly. Exactly. That's funny. What have you been up to since? What? I know you came back. You lived in Austin. You were living in Dallas. Now you're in Atlanta. What is occupying your time right now?
Those drum sets behind them.
Yeah. That takes up some time. So just moved into this place early June. So I've been pretty busy with decorating and doing some remodeling. That's the bulk of my time right now. I did join a service organization to do some mentoring out here, but that'll be virtual as well. Even though, Georgia is wide open, anything you want to do. I'm talking anything. Bars, clubs, strip clubs.
So it's not, they're not even shutting down. They're just saying, screw it, let's go and do it.
Yeah, I mean, stuff might be at like half capacity.
Right.
Or, you got to sit at every other table if you go to a restaurant or something. But, yeah.
You're not running your own business company?
No.
Man, you're smart.
Yeah,
I know you have some. I could see you running some kind of online, company or something like that. That's how smart you are, dude.
Well, yeah.
Maybe
And Justin,
the HBO NBA games like I was talking about earlier.
There we go.
He needs to do that. But Justin, I think Justin, you had a really good career, and Justin was always. I mean, guys that spend money that played in the NFL.
Sure.
I'd never seen Justin do that. In fact, I asked him one time. I was like, "What do you do? Like, what's your advice?" And he didn't really back at the time. He didn't really buy nice cars or super expensive cars, supercars. And he was living in a very modest place. And I said, "What do you do? What do you spend your money on?" He was like, gadgets. I don't think you can spend what your signing bonus was on gadgets. So I think you're doing okay. And then it's okay if you just want to retire. You did well for yourself. So if you're not doing anything, that's fine. But you are smart.
Yeah.
One of the smartest guys I know, and you can run a Fortune 500 company. I know.
Yep.
I'm going to find something. I'm going to find something. But I guess the benefit of a fruitful career and being smart, with purchases and all that kind of stuff is I can wait for that great opportunity, or to find something I'm really into before I dive into it. So I've been very blessed. And there will obviously be a next chapter. Probably once people are able to walk outside freely.
Yeah.
But could do something with these computers.
True.
Yeah, you
if a 5-year-old can code and do all this shit, surely I can figure that out too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the biggest thing you miss about Austin?
My parties. Just kidding.
All that, but Gordo's Donuts.
Yeah.
That was
like
everything else I can somewhat replicate out here, or approximate, get close to. I haven't found anything that touches Gordo's.
What about when you were in college? What was that place in college you had to go to?
Oh man. There were several of them over the years. We had a nice Outback run for a couple of years. Texas Land and Cattle, that was pretty good towards the end, I think.
State guy.
Punchies, they made cheesesteaks. It was just a little. I don't think it was the one I was talking to.
Okay.
It was the place up by Highland Mall. I don't know if the guy was from Philly or what, but made a pretty solid cheesesteak.
Yeah.
I think if there's anything else that just had to have when I was in school.
Yeah.
Did you do Players?
Yeah. Players was great.
Yeah.
We'd always go with my parents to like Papados after games.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Because I couldn't afford to eat like that at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
I get
My
you.
parents we always left the game and went over to Trudy's.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
I love Trudy's.
See, there you go.
They're freaking margaritas, man. That limit 2 margarita. I forgot what it's called.
No, it was
That
a
thing-
Mexican
Oh, Baby
margarita.
A's.
Oh, martini.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Baby A's, the purple margarita.
There,
Oh,
yeah,
that-
you
that
got
kill
Baby
you
A's
too.
purple. Oh, yeah. Those are limit too.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing you get at Baby A's. I mean, if you want real Tex, if you want good Tex-Mex, Baby A's has decent Tex-Mex, but there are other places. But those
Yeah.
purple margaritas at Baby A's are no joke. So
Exactly.
I get you. Justin, man, it is so good to talk to you.
Yep.
I know you have a Twitter account. I don't think you'd use it much, but just in case, just at JustBlaze63 on Twitter, right?
That
You
sounds
do-
right.
Do you do any social media? I mean, social media can be so useful and it can be so toxic. So I totally get it.
I have Twitter, but mainly for a news source.
Yeah.
I think it's just the fastest way to get news.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, when you're the fastest, you're also least correct.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Take it with a whole grain of salt.
You
But
do.
at least I know. I knew it first.
Yeah. Well, and you have to know who to follow too.
Also
Yeah.
true. Also
Yeah.
true. That makes all the difference.
So, well, man, it's great to talk to you. It's good to see you. We miss you here in Austin. Hope you get back here soon. But in the meantime, make sure you follow us, Todd at 94.hunt on Instagram. You follow Stevie at Stevie J Lee on Twitter or at Stevie Lee 65 on Instagram. You can follow me at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK on Twitter or Instagram. And you follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Longhorn Lowdown. Again, thanks so much for giving us some of your time. Have a great rest of the week. Until next time, hook 'em.
Okay.